How's it going, guys? I'm here to review Halloween 2018.
We're here to investigate a patient that killed three innocent teenagers on Halloween in 1978. He was shot by his own psychiatrist and taken into custody that night, and has spent the last 40 years in captivity.
So, Halloween 2018 is the start of a new Halloween timeline. This movie takes place 40 years after the original John Carpenter classic and ignores all the sequels and all the remakes, and especially Halloween 2 1981. It even ignores that. So, technically, this is the next movie after the original one in this new timeline, 40 years later. And this is the first of a new trilogy by Blumhouse Productions. Blumhouse is responsible for movies like Insidious, Get Out, The Purge, you name it. And this is the start for this is the start of a new trilogy from them. You have this movie, and then you have the new movie that's playing out in theaters right now, Halloween Kills. I'll get to that review in the next video. I've seen it. And next year is the end. Halloween Ends. The script is written by Danny McBride. Yes, the same Danny McBride in all those other comedy movies featuring Seth Rogen and James Franco. That Danny McBride, he helped write the script for this movie or any other Halloween movies that's coming out soon. And this movie is directed by David Gordon Green. So, this takes place, like I said, 4 years after the original, and they brought back Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie Strode. Now she's an extremist. She's all about the guns. She's like Sarah Connor in Terminator 2, pretty much. She she is so traumatized to the point where she had to train her kid and try to train her grandchild to just pretty much protect themselves. Always be prepared. Always lock the doors. Always get the guns. Always have weapons because you never know if Michael Myers is going to escape again. And of course, he does eventually. There's two reporters from London, I'm assuming. They're just trying to get the story of Michael Myers and Laurie Strode of what happened that Halloween night of 1978. But of course, Michael gets transferred in the bus, and then of course the bus breaks down yet again, and that sets Michael Myers loose. And the difference with this movie is Michael and Laurie are not brothers and sisters. They're not siblings in this timeline. Michael has his own different agenda. So there's another doctor. It's not Dr. Loomis. I think his doctor's name is Samtane. It's a hard name to pronounce, but this doctor is the opposite of Dr. Loomis. Dr. Loomis sees him as evil, but this doctor sees him as a savior, I guess, or in other words, like a study. Like basically, he doesn't want Michael Myers to be killed. He's obsessed with him in a way. But pretty much, he's the one for bringing Michael Myers to Laurie so they can meet. So he's the one for like playing the cards, playing the strings, just so that way they can meet. Michael never really intended to try to go after Laurie again because literally as soon as he escapes and when he gets his mask and gets his jumpsuit again, that's when he starts on a random killing spree in the town of Haddonfield. So he's not really on his way to find Laurie. It was just coincidence that the obsessed doctor, just put them together.
Everyone in my family turns into a nutcase this time of year. I mean, your grandmother is Laurie Strode. She was almost murdered.
Wasn't it her brother who murdered all those babysitters?
No, it was not her brother. That's something that people made up.
Do you know that I pray every night that he would escape?
But yes, the daughter is played by Jodie Greer. Her name's Karen, and her daughter is Allison. And of course, both of them don't really. They feel bad for Laurie, their own mother slash grandmother, but at the same time, they're telling her to get over it. And Laurie's just telling them like, I'm not going to get over it because it's going to happen. And of course it happens. So Michael Myers is just on a random killing spree. And once the doctor puts the pieces together, Michael's after Laurie and her children and her grandchildren pretty much. So that's the plot of Halloween 2018 in a nutshell. So what did I think of this movie? This movie is actually pretty well done. At first I liked it, and then the second time I watched it, I thought it was a little disappointing, and now I rewatched it for the Halloween Kills. I actually like it better now. I go back and forth with this movie. There's some changes that I don't like. Like, for example, like Laurie and Mike are not sisters. That's one of the few things that I don't like, or one of the few changes I don't like. But, I mean, it is what it is. I will say Michael Myers goes back to its original scary roots. He's more of a menace. He's more of the Grim Reaper type like in the original movie, so that's cool. It just feels more like the original Michael Myers from the original movie. And it's always a plus to see Jamie Lee Curtis reprising her role as Laurie Strode, so that's awesome. The score is amazing. The soundtrack is amazing. It's pretty much, it's created by John Carpenter yet again, which is really cool. There's some new characters I don't really mind, but some of them are just like one-dimensional characters that you could just throw off. Some of them do return in the next movie, and some of them obviously don't. That's all I could say, but some of these new characters I wasn't really a big fan of. I'm not really a big fan of Karen's character by Drew Gere, and I'm not really a big fan of Allison. I'm just used to the siblings or the children of Laurie Strode I grew up was Jamie Lloyd and John Tate. Those are the two siblings that I grew up watching, like Laurie's children, but that's just my opinion.
Mom, what bus crashed?
Michael escaped.
Excuse me, somebody's in here.
Hello?
Michael Myers does look cool in this movie. They got his mask pretty accurate since Halloween 2, because after Halloween 2, all his masks just looks like it's either a hit and miss. So this is probably the best mask since Halloween 2, 1981. For the original Michael Myers, I mean. Don't get me wrong, the Rob Zombie Michael Myers masks, it looked cool, but then again, that's its own different canon. The characters are great, at least some of them are great. The special effects is good, the kills is good, the score is good, and the script or the plot is really good. It goes back to its original roots. This is pretty much a well-made sequel. I actually like this movie, and it's especially awesome that it's made, or at least it's involved by Blumhouse Productions, which is really cool. I love that company. There's really nothing bad I can say about this movie. Yeah, this movie has a few hiccups. I mean, a few like weak characters, a few weak dialogues or liners, and then some Halloween lore that's just been a little twisted here and there. But I mean, other than that, I still enjoy this movie. This movie does feel more like the John Carpenter, like pretty much it goes back to its original mysterious roots. That's what I'm trying to say. And I do appreciate that. If I had to give this movie out of 10, I would give this movie a solid 7.5 out of 10. I actually enjoy this movie. It's one of the better Halloween sequels, but everyone's saying this is hands down the best Halloween sequel like ever since Halloween 2, or even some people even say this is a better sequel than Halloween 2 1981, which I highly disagree, because Halloween 2, the original Halloween 2, is still my favorite sequel. But don't get me wrong, this is not a bad sequel at all, but I wouldn't say it's the best. So this was my quick review of Halloween 2018. Please leave a like, subscribe, and leave a comment, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
He's waited for this night. He's waited for me. I've waited for him. Get out! Go home! Get inside! You don't believe in the boogeyman? He's here! Michael! You should.
Can you close the closet door?